It is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet asks, why does Obama trash us and then apologizes about us every time he goes overseas? Why does Obama trash us and then apologize about us every time he goes overseas? That is a good question. And here's my response. I believe, and after I break this thing down, I believe you'll believe. You know, one of the good protective mechanism that America has always had is that those phrase conspiracy theory. You know, it's a way of dismissing things. People could be telling the truth. It's a dismissive creation and use of words. And by saying all that, let me just put it like this. I believe he was hired to do a job. And when he goes overseas, I believe he's getting a progress report. And that progress report is showing him that he's not doing a good job. And so he is convincing the people over there that hired him. He's convincing them that he's doing a good job, that everything is on track. They hired him to accomplish something, and he is trying to let them know that everything is on track. And in the process of doing that, he is apologizing for America in order to weaken us so that he can accomplish his job. He talks about us. Let me put it like this. My grandmother used to have a phrase when I was a kid that when I'm telling a lie or I'm trying to convince her of something that it might not be true or something like this, she always says to me, Phil, what are you trying to do? Convince me or yourself? Because I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm trying to do it in a convincing fashion. And I believe that's what's happening with Obama. The trashing of us is him either trying to convince us or convince himself. But more so, trying to convince the people who hired him that he's tough on Americans. And he's beating us down to weaken us, to get us to, one, acquiesce to what he's saying, which makes us weak, or for us to try to prove what he's saying is wrong, which makes us a pawn. Barack Obama got elected partially because the liberals were able to convince us that we can prove to them that we're not racist. And there's a big part of our society that said, I'm not racist and I'll prove it. And we voted for Barack Obama. And the second time around was, I'm still not racist. Prove it. Voted for Barack Obama. While they're dividing everybody. And so that's what's taking place. So when Obama's trashing us, he's either trying to get us to buy into it so that we act weak, or we try to prove that we're not what he says. And then we let everything he's trying to do take place. Same thing's happening on college campuses right now. They're just throwing out things, bigots, racists, and then the people are just acquiescing to it, trying to prove to them that they're fair, that we are sympathetic to your point of view. I'm going to use this analogy. Imagine we're going to try to take over the Federal Reserve. That's the goal. We got to take over the Federal Reserve. It's got multiple levels of security. We hire me to come in to be the person that's going to fundamentally transform how the Federal Reserve functions, so that I need to get they're hiring me so I can get a new shift of guards to come in. That's the goal. And the only way we can take it over is that we have to get the people in that we want in. But now we got to deal with the people that's inside. So the people inside have to appreciate me, whether I'm right or wrong. So I have to divide them. I have to make them prove that they don't mind having this cool black guy in here. And so now I'm running around and I'm saying everybody on each floor, hey, if you don't like me on the first floor, it's because you're a racist. And if you don't like me on the second floor, it's because you're a bigot. And if you don't like me on the third floor, it's because you ain't liking no black man in the penthouse or whatnot. And I have to go around convincing these people in here. Why? Because I want them to accept in the people that I'm trying to get in for security. And so all of a sudden I spent 7 years of trying to get these people to do this, and I'm constantly letting the people that hire me, hey, I'm about to get into the Federal Reserve. I got them. Man, I got my John Boehner. I got my Nancy Pelosi. I got Reed. And then next you know, I lost my Reed and I lost my Pelosi. And then my people that hired me are getting nervous. And I have to convince them that everything is on track. I have my John Boehner and I have my Mitch McConnell. Yeah, just because we lost that, I got them right where we want them. The first floor, they're trying not to be racist. The second floor is trying not to be bigots. And the third floor is trying to let a brother in the penthouse. Everything is okay. I apologize for everything that happened back in the past, but everything is okay. I have to convince them everything is okay because they're getting antsy. It's not looking like we're going to get our security forces in there. And oh, I got them right where I want them. They're going to accept them in. Then all of a sudden, we watched the Federal Reserve that changed their security get robbed. And the people inside got massacred. And all of a sudden, we seen that. And then I have to come back to the people and go, oh my God. The other Federal Reserve we seen get robbed in France and the people got murdered. It's a setback. Because why? It's now the people that's inside of my Federal Reserve is now changing their mind. I don't know about this new security thing you've been trying to sell us. I think we need to slow that down or stop that altogether, not changing over the security, bringing in this new security detail. And I'm going like this. No, it's just a setback. I'm saying that to the people that hired me. I'm trying to convince them it's just a setback. It's okay. You know, things happen. Setback happens all the time. This ain't the first and won't be the last. It's a setback. Please, everybody, keep calm. I know what you hired me to do. We're almost there. But guess what? I have the people in the Federal Reserve right where I want them. These people, all I got to do is scream veto, and they'll go back to what they used to do. I got them right where I want them. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. And then they came and they said, we're going to put up a vote that we're not going to bring in this new security detail. And then I'm going to tell them, well, I'm going to veto it. Because usually when I do that, they stop. And they quit. But then the other people that hired me, they're going, but hold on a second. That worked when you had your Harry Reid and your Nancy Pelosi. Okay, when they left, it worked when you had your John Boehner and your Mitch McConnell, but you lost your John Boehner. And you got your Paul Ryan. But no, I'm good. I'm telling you, I'm the bomb, man. Everybody's scared of me, man. Trust me. Trust me. They don't even call me a lame duck. Trust me. And then now all of a sudden they passed the bill. The veto threat didn't work. The bill became veto-proof, and now I can't bring in my security detail. The moral of the story is this. Barack Obama was hired to do a job. And I believe he was hired to do this job by these radical Islamic Muslims. And he had a major setback. Because one of those terrorists in France was found with a Syrian passport. And America is not as weak as he thought. And so when he's overseas, he's trying to convince us that we are a bunch of racists and bigots and things of this nature. And he thought that he could use that same line that he's been doing for the last 7 years, and we are going to acquiesce to this Syrian thing. But what he wasn't counting on, and what he's trying to do, convince his handlers overseas, his radical Islamic Muslim people, that he's getting the 150 billion. Because he told them, hey man, once I get in here, I'll get your 150 billion back to you. Don't worry about that, man. Once I get them in here, man, I'll get ISIS over here. We'll get this caliphate thing, bruh. I'm going to bring them in. Trust me, I got America right where I want them. They're eating out of the palm of my hand. And trust me, I got my Black Lives Matter distraction whenever I need it. I got the college kids screaming about tuition whenever I need it. Man, I got white people faking like they're black leaders, man. I got black leaders forgetting that they're rich and them telling people that they're poor. I got my pawns, I got my Crips and my Bloods. Man, I'm ready to take their guns away. All right, and got the homosexuals redefining marriage. Bruh, trust me, I got them eating out the palm of my hands. Everything is okay. France was just a setback. What now is taking place with a veto-proof vote to stop this Islamic caliphate foolishness is the first sign that Barack Obama is a lame duck. The Democrats are saying, bruh, I gotta protect myself. This Syrian thing, yeah, France was bigger than a setback. You can call it a setback, bruh, but right now the American people see France as a set-up. And everything that you're doing with these Syrians is a set-up. And so, no, we are not, like they said, man, I got constituents, bruh. I got to get reelected. This is why it was so surprising to me that he's never been called a lame duck. Because that is the other definition of lame duck, is this. Dude, you don't have to run for reelection. We do. And we have been having our behinds handed to us. In the last election in November, we're losing everything, bruh. You're on your own with this one. And yes, we've been protecting you from the repercussions of their handlers being not pleased with your progress. We've been protecting you, but right now, bruh, we got to protect us. And so he is constantly trying to convince us that we're racists and bigots and things of this nature. Because he's already convinced himself, but more so he's trying to convince his handlers, the people who hired him, that America is on track for the overthrow. And we just dealt him a massive blow or a setback. Hey, I'm Phil Williams, and that's my response to a tweet on the Phil Williams Show.